lots of women are calling bullshit on Blake Lively. Like, that's just what you see. And look, if you're Blake Lively and you get a text message of this guy Jed saying we are crushing it on Reddit, then yeah, I can understand that paranoia, but that's not enough to win a lawsuit, right? They're gonna have to provide that proof.
How about your post should be, I'm sorry. I believed Blake like everyone else when the civil complaint was filed in California, and then 2 days later, the New York Times writes this article. Read this New York Times thing I told everyone. It's horrible. It's terrible. Why doesn't anyone just say, I made a mistake? I think we live in a world, we're out of cancel culture now. I think. But we live in a world where if you say you're sorry, I just believe that people forgive you and you'll be okay.
Justin Baldoni's attorney, power attorney Brian Friedman, is saying Blake is abusing the legal system, slams her motion to dismiss the suit. They're firing back at her attempt to cut herself out of the ongoing legal drama surrounding the film It Ends With Us. Brian Friedman, power attorney, tells TMZ Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal systems. Friedman says stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda. TMZ broke the story that Blake filed her motion to dismiss, saying Baldoni violated the law by filing his own lawsuit in the purpose of revenge. Blake says Baldoni filed his defamation suit against her, her husband, and everyone else after she filed his. And of course, when she filed her lawsuit onto him, obviously he's going to take a hit from that career-wise. So his response is like, you're defaming me by doing that. And she's saying, well, you can't even respond.
Blake Lively's image is collapsing after a Hollywood Reporter expose unveiled unsettling details about her on-set conduct, a situation many observers saw developing.
Brian Friedman, power attorney, tells TMZ Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal systems. What happened was, and again, everyone's doing this. No one wants to be in this trial, of course. Blake Lively's publicist asked to be removed from lawsuit, defends actress against Justin Baldoni's claims. I'm going to get into what Justin Baldoni's lawyer had to say and what Blake's team is saying, because every day there's more to the drama, and I'm going to get into all of this happening next. So we have Blake Lively accusing Justin Baldoni of retaliating with his lawsuit on her. And then we have Justin Baldoni's lawyer saying Blake is abusing the system. To be quite honest, everyone I meet's Team Blake. I mean, other than Taylor Lorenz. Everyone's Team Justin Baldoni. I got that wrong. Everyone's Team Justin Baldoni. The Wayfair Party's vengeful and rambling lawsuit against Blake Lively is a profound abuse of the legal process that has no place in federal court. The law prohibits weaponizing defamation lawsuits like this one to retaliate against individuals who have filed legal claims or have publicly spoken out about harassment and retaliation. The right to seek legal redress and the right of the press to report on it are sacred principles that are protected by multiple privileges, including the litigation and fair report privileges, which are absolute. So their argument is, you're not allowed to sue us back because we filed this harassment suit. I mean, it's like punching someone and then they don't get a chance to return the blow. So here's what Justin Baldoni's attorney, power attorney Brian Friedman, is saying, right? Because she's arguing in her motion to dismiss, hey, I filed a harassment complaint against Baldoni. He cannot sue me in retaliation. If Justin Baldoni can prove that she filed that claim for some malicious intent, then maybe he'll have a shot at it. But some people are saying, hey, she could get off on some sort of technicality here.
Her meticulously crafted public persona is now visibly fracturing. Sources indicate Lively is devastated as her carefully maintained image crumbles under the weight of these revelations. This isn't just a minor blip.
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
We've been talking about you all day.
Oh, you know.
Not want to be asked any more questions like that.
How does it feel like the movie's being
Her carefully constructed Hollywood empire is under intense scrutiny.
kind of by everything happening going on in the world?
Why, what happened? I did ayahuasca and the last year of my life is just gone, but I've heard the movie's amazing.
Wait, thank you.
I just can't imagine how uncomfortable tonight has been trying to like dodge all of these questions and like pretend like nothing is wrong.
The typical red carpet gloss and perfect social media posts are being replaced by raw, unfiltered chaos, making for a compelling and dramatic public spectacle.
Now that it's a function on Twitter and Instagram, there's a couple people that I have muted.
Good.
Yeah. Blake Lively.
You can mute people on Instagram?
Yeah, it's a new feature.
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
We're talking about you.
And Anna's just an egomaniac, as you can see. So,
Yeah.
so
I'm
I learned a lot
incredible.
from her.
Yeah.
Impact.
Her legal moves initially aimed to portray her as a champion for victims.
It shows Anna Kendrick isn't giving Blake Lively any public support on the Justin Baldoni case, and also at the same time her body language in multiple interviews when asked doesn't seem to be that friendly towards Blake Lively. There's also rumors that Anna Kendrick is pissed because Amazon wouldn't release this movie in theaters because of fears over Blake Lively's reputation.
The level of cringe in this video made Blake Lively co-star shrink almost to below the floor.
So what happens in the third one? No, I'm joking. Korean Rome, honestly. So Paul, we really wanted to make this second movie.
What does it mean to be back with Anna?
Oh, it's the best. I'm so happy. Like, okay.
What does it mean to be working with Blake again?
We're talking about you all day.
Oh my god, I'm gonna take it.
Get it and tell me not. Be prepared.
What does our character know versus what are they letting on like they know? But are they pretending like they know in order to get confirmation, but they don't actually know and they're finding out in that moment?
But critics quickly question her motives. Many argue that her outrage about a caricature was a calculated diversion, attempting to shift focus from her alleged controlling behavior during the filming of It Ends With Us. This kind of on-set conduct can push directors to their limits and make co-stars secretly plan their exits. The negative press surrounding her lasted for weeks, which she reportedly compared to a political pile-on.
Blake Lively is facing yet more drama, this time with her co-star Anna Kendrick, which she's already done before, but of course is facing again. We knew before that there was some bad blood. So now I guess just is this a new thing actually, or is this just the resurfacing of the previous feud that's now everyone's talking about? I believe this wholeheartedly, Kim, judging by all the things she made Justin, all the hoops and things she took over that we see through text message. I can only imagine what Blake's team, her lawyers, her attorneys are now all using because of court things. Blake Lively is facing yet more drama, this time with her co-star Anna Kendrick, which she's already done before, but of course is facing again.
A dramatic claim that many found far-fetched given the everyday scrutiny public figures face. Justin Baldoni, the actor at the heart of this unfolding drama, has become Lively's unexpected adversary.
Which I think is like not fair, right?
Yeah, you're such a bad daughter.
Terrible daughter. See, this is an entire therapy session.
That's good. Get it out.
Realize.
We're not best buddies at all moments, but like do we do well together on screen? And there's some people that like we're best buddies and then on screen it's like
Lively's team initially painted Baldoni as an unprofessional disruptor, claiming the set of It Ends With Us became a chaotic circus under his direction. However, Baldoni has responded not with Hollywood-style blame, but with concrete evidence. He even enlisted a prominent lawyer known for successfully challenging powerful media entities.
I think it will be interesting to see the tone that they take with promo here, how much we do see of Blake Lively through this process. I mean, we looked at that post the other night where they left the comments open showing the poster for Another Simple Favor. To stay somewhat neutral, I do have some compassion for her in that regard, but at the same time, this is a problem that is a problem now based on her prior interviews. You know, how much we see of Anna. Will it be very Anna heavy and not as Blake heavy? I don't know. I guess we will see in time.
They film it on their cameras because they're bringing you in. And if you do something that they don't want, they don't give you the footage. They keep the footage, they keep the cards, or they edit it out and give you what they want. They could control this environment and put them together. What's going to be telling, Kim?
Baldoni's side of the story presents a stark contrast, making Lively's initial claims appear increasingly fragile, like a Jenga tower on the verge of collapse. His narrative suggests that Lively was the true aggressor, cleverly masquerading as the victim.
They respect you.
A lot of talking.
Gotta give her a pep talk. I'm like, we're amazing. We're powerful. I mean, I'm the reason she gets out of bed in the morning.
And Anna's just an egomaniac, as you can see.
Anna Kendrick had issues working with Blake Lively years ago, and even though they did a sequel together, it looks like those issues are still there because now she's visibly shunning her. And this is a big deal because
Baldoni's team has leveled serious accusations, including claims of cultural insensitivity from Lively, specifically targeting his Baha'i faith. While Lively's camp loudly proclaims victimhood, Baldoni's representatives calmly highlight the inconsistencies in her narrative.
Are they seated together? Are they seated separately? Do they address any of this drama? I imagine neither of them will.
How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
How quickly do you know?
Now, because Anna Kendrick is pretty honest herself, and that felt like a complete, like, I'm not going to say anything mean, but I'm going to do it in a sarcastic way like you do to me all the time, and then I'll play like it's a laugh. When they do these junkets, they can set rules, like no, because they can hold the cards. Lewis and I have experienced this. When you do a junket, is what it's called, these interviews for the movies, they bring in journalists, and they'll say, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that.
And she'll be getting private coaching from an expert on how to handle any questions that could be thrown at her.
This escalating public dispute resembles a courtroom drama, with PR teams battling it out in the public arena rather than lawyers in a formal setting. There's a noticeable shift in Lively's public demeanor, fluctuating between appearing carefree on red carpets and then suddenly expressing sadness or regret, only to pivot again to portraying herself as a burdened champion for other victims. This back and forth raises questions about the sincerity of her public display of emotions. Lively has publicly cast herself as a fierce advocate for women in Hollywood, bravely confronting sexism and toxic work environments, a seemingly inspiring stance. Yet her narrative faces significant challenges. Baldoni's team has been exceptionally thorough, producing a wealth of evidence including emails, text messages, and witness testimonies that consistently undermine Lively's claims. This meticulous approach has impressed even seasoned legal professionals. The situation escalated further with a Hollywood Reporter expose which directly criticized Lively's controlling tendencies. The article described an individual whose need for micromanagement allegedly strained professional relationships on set. Accusations surfaced that Lively attempted to exert directorial and editorial control over Baldoni's film, aligning with a pattern of behavior where she allegedly seeks to dominate projects. The controversy surrounding a particular cartoon which Lively condemned as a sexist attack drew further scrutiny. Critics quickly pointed out that her outrage seemed to conveniently overshadow more substantial issues raised in the article, such as her alleged manipulative behavior and contradictory statements. Many viewed her focus on the cartoon as a deliberate distraction tactic. Baldoni's public relations strategy has been a masterclass in managing public perception. While Lively's team relied on emotional appeals and a quest for public sympathy, Baldoni's camp consistently adhered to presenting verifiable facts. This sharp contrast has begun to sway public opinion, with Hollywood insiders now openly questioning if Lively is truly an empowered victim or if this is a carefully orchestrated effort to control the story. The fallout from this dispute has been considerable. Lively's standing in Hollywood has suffered a significant blow, creating a clear division within the industry. Some still regard her as a feminist icon fighting injustice, while others have adopted a far more skeptical view. There's a strong belief among some that her team immediately engaged in damage control, and evidence may emerge in court suggesting a personal vendetta against Baldoni, possibly even involving her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Conversely, Baldoni's reputation, which initially faced scrutiny, is now showing signs of recovery as his version of events gains traction. This situation highlights a critical lesson. Never fully commit to a victim narrative if the facts don't support it. Lively's lawsuit, initially framed as a pursuit of justice and advocacy, appears to be a sophisticated public relations maneuver. Baldoni, with his legal representative, a lawyer renowned for challenging major networks, has effectively countered Lively's claims. This lawsuit, instead of being about rectifying wrongs, seems more like an attempt to restore Lively's public image after it was tarnished by the "It Ends With Us" controversy. Lively positioned herself as a modern-day champion for those who have experienced mistreatment. However, there's a striking irony in her narrative. While filming a movie centered on themes of domestic violence and resilience, she was simultaneously promoting her personal gin and hair product lines, leading many to question her sincerity and focus. The timeline of Lively's actions has also come under intense scrutiny, revealing significant inconsistencies. Her supposed spontaneous collaboration with a major newspaper for an expose was quickly debunked by leaked metadata, which indicated months of preparation. This suggests a highly strategic and pre-planned effort rather than a sudden act of activism. Her lawsuit, far from being a genuine quest for justice, appears to be a calculated rebranding effort. Her PR team transformed court filings into a dramatic public spectacle, seemingly more concerned with the narrative she could craft in interviews and social media posts than with the legal proceedings themselves. Photos of her appearing melancholic at public events were widely circulated, fueling speculation about her remorse, though a well-known magazine later reported she had no regrets, further adding to the conflicting narratives. Lively's self-portrayal as a selfless crusader for justice, while noble in appearance, began to unravel under closer examination. The juxtaposition of her public claims of fighting for the greater good with her coordinated paparazzi-ready appearances raised questions about her sincerity. The language employed by her PR team often verged on the abstract, using phrases like "Blake's beliefs remain unshaken" without offering concrete evidence. This vague rhetoric made her public narrative feel less like an authentic outpouring of emotion and more like a carefully orchestrated sympathy tour, complete with staged photo opportunities and controlled leaks to the press. Many perceived her as rehearsing a public performance rather than genuinely seeking justice. Justin Baldoni mounted a formidable defense, systematically dismantling Lively's allegations with precise evidence. His team meticulously reviewed text messages, emails, and on-set reports, leaving no stone unturned. An actor who appeared alongside Lively in It Ends With Us contradicted her account of their scene together, claiming she misrepresented it in her lawsuit. Baldoni's response wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a masterclass in presenting clear, undeniable facts, highlighting inconsistencies and alleged cultural prejudices in Lively's narrative. The subtle undertones of his Baha'i faith being used against him in her accusations were particularly noted, raising concerns about outdated Hollywood stereotypes. As the narrative shifted, Baldoni, initially quiet, emerged as a composed and articulate figure, providing a stark contrast to Lively's increasingly chaotic claims. His calm demeanor, combined with his evidence-based approach, began to reverse the victimhood narrative that Lively had attempted to establish. Hollywood, always keen on a redemption story, started to favor Baldoni. Another actor further challenged Lively's claims, calling her allegations offensive and untrue. He lauded Baldoni's professionalism in directing and managing the crew, particularly during sensitive scenes, stating that everything was handled with the utmost care. This public reputation significantly undermined Lively's allegations, making her narrative seem to unravel completely.